Hello and welcome, friends. We're going to be doing a Pilates core sculpt today. A little bit of booty added in there, but we'll be doing it for time. So each move, 45 seconds. We have 15 seconds of transitional rest to kind of preview the next move and get to the next section or the next move. So I want you to grab some blocks if you have them. If you don't have them, you can do that particular move or anything we're doing on any little bit of elevated surface would be okay. Not too high though, maybe some books stacked up or something like that would be fine if you don't have blocks. Even a bolster itself, just not too squishy. Don't want anything too squishy. All right, so let's get going. We're going to recline back on the mat. We're going to start with our straight leg, single straight legs. So like scissors. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll it on back. So let's take a moment and just do a few little lean backs. I want you to get kind of warmed up there, almost like you're just doing a little rolling cat-cow. Starting to connect with your breath. Deep breath in, exhale, roll back. And we'll do that about 3 more times. And then we're going to roll the rest of the way back and get set. So go ahead and continue and we'll roll all the way back. As you roll back, taking your legs up. Inhale, right leg comes towards you, left leg drops, and then switch. Inhale, exhale. I want you to keep your rib cage pulled down, your hips nice and level. We're not yanking or pulling on the legs. We're just kind of reaching toward them, giving them a little guide. Now, if your hamstrings are pretty tight, you could do this with bent knees or a slight bend in your knee. It doesn't matter. You don't have to bring your leg in super close to you, but I just want you to stay controlled. Your head and shoulders lifting up last, if that's something that feels okay for your neck. Continue here, about 5 more seconds. Still breathing, drawing shoulders down, away from ears. And rest right here. Take a moment, just hug those knees in. You can take a little rock side to side. I'll give you a little preview. Next move is going to be double leg drop. So knees can stay bent, dropping those knees or dropping the feet down, or straight leg variation. Okay. So lowering down, I'm just going to take the hands by the head first and then bring it back up. So again, your first variation, knees bent. You can kind of work into it. Be mindful that you're not letting your hips rock forward. You're keeping that space between ribs and hips pulled close together, resisting the urge to let those hips rock. If you're in straight leg variation, try to squeeze your inner thighs together, keeping the belly drawn in on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Shoulders can be lifted or all the way down. So you've got many variations here. And you can start with one, work your way up. You can always go back to that first variation. Last one. Bring the feet to the mat. We're working on crisscross neck, so we'll progress into that. So feet away from you, walk them down the mat. Elbows out to the sides. Go ahead and lift up. We're going to draw that right shoulder over toward the left side and then lift the left knee. Bring it back down to center and switch. Inhale, exhale. Want to keep those hips as steady as you can so that you're not rocking onto your hip. Deep breath. Next option, straighten out the opposite leg and reach. Inhale, exhale, reach. You could always stay with that first variation or even come back to it if needed. Inhale, exhale, reach. Over to the side, lift those shoulders. Last one. And rest. All right, shake it out a little bit. Okay, next move is our reclining twist. So if you need one of those blocks or a Pilates ball to place in between the thighs, you could take that here. Arms just relaxed out to the sides, anchoring in the shoulders, rocking over to one side. Keep knees squeezing toward each other and then back to center. Inhale. I want you to lift your feet about the same height as your knees at the minimum. Inhale over. Be mindful though when you twist that you're not arching in your back, that you're not creating this kind of dip where your tail is lifting up behind you and you're letting your belly come forward. I want you to still stay pulled in, rotating, and then back to center. Keep everything in that as best neutral alignment as you can, rotating on the spine. Inhale, the feet can lift up a little higher, adding a little more challenge. And last one. And then back to center. So we're gonna rock it up. You can either rock and roll your way into seated or just press yourself up. If you need cushion under your tail, go ahead and grab a blanket or a pillow here. So as we sit back, shoulders are pulled back, just relax them down, connect that space between ribs and hips. We're gonna reach forward and then over to the left side each time. Okay, so just reaching forward. If it feels a little better for you to hold something here, you can hold a ball or a block. Inhale, exhale, like you're chopping down. There's a chopping motion, chop. Inhale, exhale. You could even squeeze the ball between the inner thighs. Okay, switch to the other side, over. Inhale, up, exhale, down. I want you to keep the knees as steady as you can. I'm placing just a little bit of weight on my toes rather than my heels so that I'm not rocking those knees. I want you to spread your toes wide. Last one. And then back to center. All right, over to one side. So go ahead and turn to one side. We're going to be moving into a side plank hip dip. Shoulder pulled all the way back. Place weight on your forearm. Bottom knee, first position. We lift and lower the hips. I want you to really secure your shoulder into the joint. Okay, making sure you're not hanging out right here. Inhale, exhale. Still making sure that you're connecting between ribs and hips. Deep breath. Good job. We're going to go the whole 45 seconds on this side. Be careful with that shoulder. Still kind of sending your pubic bone a little bit forward and then dialing it up. Okay, last two. Last one. And bring it back to center. Switch to the other side. You have a few moments to get there, so take your time. And once again, on your forearm, not just on your elbow. Push into it and lift up, pull back. Dial up with that pubic bone, not a tug, just a little lift. Okay, and we go. Lift up and down. Still breathing. Again, watch that bottom shoulder, that you're not moving it horizontal with the floor. Okay, so I want you just to try to anchor here. You might have a tiny bit of movement, but we don't want a big movement kind of back and forth this way. Okay, just a lift and lower. Think about hips lifting and lowering down. That's it. Feeling the side waist working, obliques, even down into your hip and glutes. You're feeling that. Okay, good job. Last two. And last one. Now we're going to grab those blocks or whatever you have for your elevation. I'm going to place those at the end of the mat. This one's going to be a little bit different, so not quite a bridge lift. It's not a traditional bridge lift. I want you just to anchor your heels onto the blocks, not your feet. Okay, so it's not the soles of your feet. It's your heels. Your knees just have a slight bend. You are not in a basic glute bridge lift. Your legs are pretty long here and almost straight. Now, again, dial up that pubic bone, arms by your sides, lift the hips and lower down. Lift and lower. So this is a hamstring bridge lift. That means we're feeling that more in the hamstrings, the back of your legs, than the glutes. Inhale, exhale, just your heels on those blocks. Dig in and then feel like you're pulling your heels towards you each time you lift. Okay, like you're going to slide them underneath you. Last two and last one. Awesome work. Okay, come on up, roll to the side or rock and roll your way up to seated and then flip it over. We're going to take one of those blocks and just place that under your right hand. So a little more to center, but wherever it's comfortable. Okay. So left hand goes right beside your head, just right by your neck. I want you to drop that elbow down and then open up and rotate. Bring it down, inhale, exhale, up and rotate. So another option is to take a block between your inner thighs and squeeze. So this could keep your low back nice and steady, rotating in the thoracic spine, mid-spine. Inhale, exhale. Good job. Keep going. Finding rotation and work on the sideways. I really want you to lift up and open up your chest. Push away from whatever you've got your hand on. Now, switching sides, you can stay right where you are. I'm flipping just so we can see. Okay, so left hand elevated, and it could be elevated even higher than a block. So if you would like to come up more to a coffee table or something a little bit taller, that's fine. Okay, if you don't have a lot of rotation or mobility in your spine, coming up higher may be helpful. We're gonna lift. I'm still squeezing those inner thighs into an item, a ball, a block, maybe a rolled up towel. Rotate back, inhale. That way we're keeping the hips steady. So I want to make sure that I'm not gonna kind of rock those hips over to the side when you lift. Okay, so just right here, pull back. Inhale, exhale. Just a few more. Come on, 10 seconds. Really lift and pull back. Squeeze that shoulder blade toward the opposite side. Last one. We're coming all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so all the way down. Or I think we're coming all the way. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Let me just have that moment. Okay, now we're coming down. I think I added an extra one in here. All right, we're all the way down. Shoulders are back. Now you can take just the knees or come up to the toes. Separate the feet wide. I want you to rotate your hips side to side. Okay. Take your feet about the width of your mat if you're on your toes. If you're on your knees are going to go fairly close together, and you're just going to lift your feet and rotate with it. But keep your hips level and down. Okay. Shoulders pulled back, and you're pushing into your forearms so that you're activating the muscles under your arms to also help keep you holding here and not sinking down. Okay, come on, give me 2 more, just one each side, and back to center. Press back, and then get ready to flip it back over, and we go through that again, 2 more times. Okay, we know where we're going now. Okay, we're gonna recline back. First move, single straight leg. Inhale, exhale, scoop the belly on the exhale. Nice big deep breath. Want you to make contact with the floor, with your spine, especially from your shoulder blades down to your low back. Low back does not have to smash down, just keep it soft. But do keep the belly drawing in on that exhale. Okay, shoulders relax, shoulders can lift up. Make sure you're not straining your neck. Still breathing, inhale, exhale. Last few here, come on. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Double leg drop. Knees bent, squeezing an item if you prefer, or legs straight. Hands behind your head, just relax those fingertips along the base of your skull. Lift up if that's your option to take today, and lower the legs down. Don't let those hips roll forward. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, and exhale up. You do not have to go as low as I'm going. It might be a very small movement. It could be just a few inches down and up, or with the knees, same thing. Down, bring it up. You're halfway. Inhale, exhale up. I want you to keep the rib cage drawn down. Don't flare out here. Nice and solid. Well, just 3 more. Down, bring it up. Focus on your breath. Dig deep inside. This is deep core work. Last one. You ready for your crisscross? Take that break in between. Okay, we start with feet on the floor. First progression right there. Okay, first option. Lift up, cross over, lift the knee. I want you to try to lift both shoulder blades and then rotate. Next option, leg floats, and you can drop it each time, or keep those legs floating into that full crisscross variation. Trying to rotate all the way over to the side with the shoulders, but not the hips. You're over halfway on this move. Breathe with it. Almost there.
for 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work. Bring those knees in, give them a hug. Rock and roll or press yourself up into seated, coming into that boat variation again. So we're holding here, toes to the floor, squeezing a block for your comfort and feedback if you'd like right there. Okay. Take your hands, just reach them right up from your chest at an angle where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you, and then bring it over to the left. Inhale, exhale, rotate. We're rotating shoulders. Notice how my chest is turning towards you. I'm not just taking my arms across this way. Okay, my chest is turning, squeezing knees together. Take it to the opposite side. Exhale. I want you to lift tall. Make sure you're not dumping into your low back. So what does that mean? It means we would be kind of rounding down this way. I want you to get really tall. Come on, 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, side plank, hip dip. Now you can continue with your hip dip here, knee on the floor. If this isn't an option, I want you to go to double leg lift on both sides, okay? So that's your other variation there. If you've noticed that that's just not working for you. Okay, I want you to lift up, bring it down. Not collapsing, okay, just your hips up and down. Next option, we're gonna add on, lift that top leg. Now we're working both bottom and top side waist. Lift and bring it down. Up, lower down, good job. Inhale, strong through your core, don't forget. Pubic bone slightly dialing up, hips are nice and level. You're shifting your hips slightly forward so they're not dropping back behind you. Lots of energy pressing into your bottom arm for stability. Last one. And bring it down. Switch sides, just come up, flippity floppity over there. And we can start again on that bottom knee. Check out your alignment, shoulder, elbow. Lift the hips, sweep up, lift the leg, bring it down. Lift and lower. So because I'm giving you additional options, you can always stop at any variation that you've had prior to the next one we move into. So you can always go back to that first round variation. Go ahead, deep breath. You're over halfway on this move. Keep going. Notice if one side feels more challenging than the other. If it does bother your neck to be in this lateral position, holding there, look down a little. Just a few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now back into your hamstring bridge lift. Take those blocks at the end of your mat. Anchor your heels. Straighten the legs most of the way. This is not a glute bridge lift, so we're not going to bend those knees quite a bit. I want them mostly straight. Dig into your heels. Lift your hips and lower. Lift and lower. Feel like you were going to slide your heels back underneath you every time you lift. Let's see if we can challenge ourselves. Lift up, lift the right leg. Bring it down. Lift up, lift the left leg. Bring it down. If that's not happening, just keep both of those feet on the blocks or wherever you are. Lift and lower. Keep going. Shoulders back. Press into the back of your head. Come on, last one. And rest. Okay, so again, rock and roll or press yourself up. I think I did. Yes. Don't press yourself up, roll back. Because I skipped something. We don't want to skip that. That's a good one. All right, here we go. Back into reclining twist. We're just placing it in a different place in the settings today. Let's rock it side to side. We don't want to forget about this one. It's such a good one. So you can squeeze your block like I'm doing here. And you can also straighten out the top leg each time, but keeping your knees level with one another here. Okay, so just go ahead and straighten it out. If you want to add that extra challenge, taking more load, or both legs can straighten out. But do squeeze towards center and keep your shoulders anchored. the best you can. Okay, rotating from your waist. Over to one side and then back, last one. Now we will rock and roll all the way up. Take your block with you. Flip it over. Or you can roll to one side. Press yourself up. Here we go. Back into your thoracic twist. Anchor right hand. Left hand is on the head. Okay. Bring it down and up. So again, if you need a higher elevation, you could do that with your block. You could even elevate that block up. Remember, it has 3 levels. So we can bring it almost up to a kneeling position, a completely upright kneeling position, and then rotate. So find the one that's working for you. Inhale, exhale. Don't forget, you can also squeeze that block between inner thighs. I found that to be very helpful. Inhale, close it up, exhale, open, and give me one more. And release that side. We'll switch sides. You can just switch your hands. I'll flip over. Okay, I'm squeezing block right here on inner thighs. Taking the opposite hand, right hand behind your head or just right here at your ear. Inhale, close, exhale, lift and rotate. Inhale, exhale. So I also want you to think about squeezing your shoulder blades a little bit toward each other. So retract and then protract. Retract, they pull together. Protract, they pull apart. Anchor down through your feet, even if you've got your toes turned under. Try not just to rest on your knees. Almost there. Over halfway on this move. Just 3. And 2. And last one. And bring it down. All right, shake it out. Here we go. Back into our elbow plank. I want you to lower it down. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. Drop your hips, but don't let them sag. Knee or on the knees or on the toes, and then rotate. Still breathing. Take the feet wide. If you find this move to be a little challenging on your toes, go ahead and take it to the knees. You could also, even through this whole practice, right, if you have sensitive joints or anything going on in your feet, you could also wear some flexible tennis shoes. Okay, that's okay. Just make it work for you. Keeping those shoulders nice and steady. Come on, 8 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, we've got one more round together. Let's do it. Okay, flip it over. Here we go. It's your best round yet. All the way back into your straight leg. Okay, single straight leg. Let's go. Switch. Again, shoulders down or up, your choice. Knees bent if needed. So whether you're floating your shoulders or not, just float your arms beside you for a moment and reach to the end of your mat. Your gaze is still across the room. Try not to just be staring at your screen. I have to look over every once in a while, but I want you to just gaze forward. This will help you with your alignment of your neck. Scoop the belly in on the exhale. Nice big breath all the way around. Exhale. One more. And back to center. Rest for a moment. Get your breath. Here we go. Double leg drop. Okay, so hands behind the head, shoulders back, and lift if that's your next level option. Bring it down and back up. The lower those legs go, if they're straight especially, I want you to really engage through the glutes along with the deep core muscles. They're working together here. Inhale. Exhale. Keep drawing in as you lower down. Just maintaining that nice alignment here through ribs and hips, pulling closer together. Inhale. Exhale up. Just a few more. We've got 10 seconds. Try not to let the belly bulge out when you do this. I want you to keep pulling it down. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it back down. Ready for a crisscross. Just take a moment. Remember, this is your last full round of these moves. Okay, so it's the last time you'll do this today. Unless you decide to come back and do replay. All right, lift up. Here we go, crisscross, whichever level fits you best today. Let's go. Even if it's slower or at a different level than where I'm at right now. I'm just going to that top level. We're in the third round. Get out all the juice, all the Pilates juice right here. Reach over to the side. Inhale, exhale. If you've got it in you, see if you can drop your elbow and lift a little. Without a big rock. That's your last and final challenge. Come on. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. All right. Come on. Grab a block, a ball, if you want to take it between the legs. We're going back into that reclining twist. Okay. Arms relaxed out to the side. Knees together or pressing into something. Rotate over, back to center. You can always straighten that top leg. That's your second level. You don't have to take it. Third level is to straighten the legs almost all the way out. Make sure though that your hamstrings aren't pulling at your low back. If you tend to have tight hamstrings, go ahead and bend those knees at least a little. Over halfway. Give yourself a little more challenge by pausing and hovering, and then come back. That's your last challenge. Hover, and then back. Come on, 2 more. Last one. And rock and roll back up to that boat or half boat position. Once again, okay, you can take that block between inner thighs, toes to the floor. I'm going to leave the block out this time. Reach forward. I want to give you the option, which you can do just by lifting one foot. Okay, we're going to reach over to the left, lift the foot, or lift the knee a little bit if you're not closing onto an item. Okay, lift and over. Okay. Inhale. And you can keep it floating for your next option. Last and final option is to take both those legs up, and you might want to be squeezing something here. You never have to go to this level. All right, just keep going to where you can. We're doing the whole 45 seconds on this one side. All right, I know I didn't tell you before because I thought you might get upset with me. Hey, keep going. Because you are strong enough. You can do this. Go to the other side. And then we'll take a break. Hey, keep going. Deep breath. If you need a break, put those feet down or just rest for a moment. Come back. You can even sit upright and just rotate. Okay, you're almost there. Up and then cross. Up and cross. So close. Keep breathing. Lift the chest, but keep the ribs down. Okay. Almost there. And last one. Good. Whew. All right, rest that out for a second. That was awesome. Okay, flip it over to the side. We're going to get ready for our side plank move. Okay, so again, we have those options. Knee down, top leg lifting. This is your first option when we lift up. We can lift up and down with that top leg straight. Next option is going to be to add in a crunch. Okay, so we'll lift up and then crunch and bring it down. Okay. So get ready, pick a side, shoulders back. We lift up and crunch, bring it down. Lift up, crunch, and bring it down. So we're opening the knee out to the side. It's not coming forward. This is a side or lateral movement. Up, crunch, okay. Down, lift, and crunch. So you could just lift the leg and hold it or give it that little crunch. And I want you to hold here. So either just hold that leg up or take those crunches right there. Last few seconds, just crunch. Try not to drop that bottom hip. Last one. And rest. Okay, flip it over to the other side. We're doing that whole situation here. Side plank lift. Get ready, get set, rock that shoulder into place. Let's lift up and crunch. Drop it down. Inhale, exhale, lift. I want you to rock the shoulder blade back and down just to anchor on this one. Try not to let your hips fall back. Breathe with the move. Or find your breath and then let your move follow the breath. So inhale, drop, exhale, crunch. I want you to hold this next one. Hold it and crunch the whole time. Just a few seconds, almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Woo. Come up. Grab your blocks, hamstring, bridge lift. All right, so close. All right, shoulders back and lift. Dig your heels in and pull them towards you as you lift. Legs are almost straight. Lift. Let's see if you can lift and then lift the left leg. Bring it down, lift the right leg. Bring it down, up, lift. Doesn't have to go far. And lift, good. For the next 10 seconds, I want you to do just the right side. So try to float that right leg up, lift and lower. If you need both feet down and just do a kick, that's fine. Switch, lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work. Draw those knees in. Rock and roll. Okay, so coming all the way back up or rock to the side, press up. Thoracic rotation on the knees. Here we go. So drop that elbow down. Take it back and open. Okay, squeeze the other block. I always forget that one. But then I notice right away that assist really is nice. So I don't want you to push into the back of your head. I want you to really pull your elbow out to the side. Okay? If you need to, you could always come here. If you're noticing that that elbow is really pushing forward, come back and then pull back without lifting your hand. Okay, inhale. Or again, come up to a higher elevated space. Last 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch your sides. Okay, so opposite side, right hand beside head or on your hip. And here we go. We're going to take it down. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, open. Exhale, rotate. Squeeze the inner thighs toward an item. This is very helpful. It'll help stabilize the low back. Plus you get that little extra work on the inner thighs, which we all need. That's a place we tend to ignore and avoid quite a bit, those adductors. Almost there, you're over halfway. This is your last round. Need 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it up. Ready for your elbow plank twist. This is it, last time. Not to say you might not have a little something right after it, but I'm saying this is the last one of this whole set, okay? So hold it here, find your elbow plank. Decide if you're on your knees or your toes, and rotate. Inhale, exhale, drop the hip. Keep those shoulders super steady. Gaze at your hands, not at the screen. Just gaze at your hands without dropping your head. So look just above your hands slightly. Keep breathing. Once again, if anything doesn't feel right to you, then just modify. Knees can come down, or you can just hold a plank. You don't have to twist. if that doesn't feel right to your spine, or if you're getting tired and your form is not staying on cue. I want you to take the next few seconds and just rest, but we're not leaving here yet. All right, we've got one more, just a little topper or a little finisher here. We're gonna stay on elbows, popping those shoulder blades back and down, pull up through the ribs and the hips, lift up into the knees or the toes. Legs are wide, super wide on those feet, okay, or knees. I want you to slide your left hand back, okay? So I'm gonna slide it back so that it looks like it's a little support underneath for a moment. Now, just float it up into your rib cage and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Switch sides. Take that right arm under, palm is facing up, and then wrap it. Hold. Level out the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Drop it down. Okay. Whew. Okay. That was amazing effort. I want you to drop your pubic bone a little bit. Lift your feet. Sweep the feet side to side. Big deep breaths in. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and press yourself up. Send your hips back and stretch it out. About 4 deep rounds of breath here. Reaching the hands forward, walk over to the left. Reach out all the way with that right hand. Try to even it out with your left hand. Dropping the right side of your rib cage down a little closer to the floor. Come back around to center. Other side, same thing. Reach that left hand way up there. And then just drop that left side of your rib cage a little closer to the floor. And come back to center. Let's come all the way up. Go ahead and have a seat. As we just come into basic seated pose, we'll do side stretches from here. So reach up and then over, slowly drop your bottom shoulder. Your elbow doesn't have to hit the floor, but you can slide that arm out. Just don't shrug here. Anchor through your sit bones. Right hip is heavy, right sit bone anchored and glued to the floor as you reach over with the right arm. Inhale, come up. Let's take that again. Exhale, reach. And one more. I want you to bring both hands back behind you, just like you've got little claw tripods here with your fingertips. Lift up through the chest, draw the ribs down, hips back into neutral, and just squeeze your shoulder blades. You can gaze up a slight bit, but just make sure you're not putting too much pressure in the back of your neck, and then we're not overarching in your back. Okay. Just pull back. And then come back to center. We'll sweep the arms up, big deep breath in, bring it back down, reach. 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Find a moment of gratitude for this practice today, for you showing up, and for all of your body's abilities and movements, even limitations, because those are there to teach us and for us to learn and grow. All right. Thanks for being here.